Hey, Elaine.
Hello, love.
Can we all just agree collectively that until further notice, if we stay tuned after the show, we will get behind the scenes footage?
Yes. Every time. Every time it comes up, I just shouted it, "We're not watching that!" Like a child.
I think a lot of people will.
Yeah, I've heard other people saying, and then we tuned into the thingy, but not us.
We've got a podcast to make.
Yeah, and we've got a podcast to make very quickly today because you're about to get on a flight.
Yeah, it's
Big sigh.
yeah, it's 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah, no, this is weird. Why is there so much light? Why is it cold? Why is the heating not on?
Why is there not a child that's sleeping in the next room?
Or not sleeping?
Yes.
Yeah. That was much better, wasn't it?
I have issues with some of the ways the storyline has progressed, but yes, this is far more. And looking back, I think it may have been an intentional. It must be an intentional.
I think all of it's intentional, Mark.
Plot
I have
point
to say.
to make people feel a little bit confused as the innies are just being put into this situation. For me, I think that's a very dangerous game, and it's not something that I particularly enjoyed. Now I'm sure. Now, after we recorded our podcast, obviously we've heard that it was quite a divisive episode, and people either loved or hated the.
We thought we were the
Ultra
only ones hating it.
Yes,
because I did have a quick look on the socials, and there seemed to be a lot of oh my god, this is amazing, and people pulling it apart and all the Reddits and all of that sort of stuff. But then slowly it sort of crept in that there was this sort of this unease that we had. It seemed to be coming out from other people as well.
But going back to the Line of Duty finale that we did, a similar instant reaction podcast to, where we were like, oh, this is brilliant, and then as we were recording, I'm getting texts through going, that was awful, and I think people might not like this as much as we did.
I have to say though, the last episode 4, gave me so much pleasure. The messages that I was getting from people genuinely were making my day, and I'm going to read a couple of them out. So, for example, middle of the day, and I get a message going, episode 4, bonkers. No idea what's going on there. It's just amazing. Cannot work what is going on with Mark. Couldn't work out if it was trying to be too clever for its own good. It's just I just love these messages that are coming through.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to everyone who's been in touch, because they've really, really made my day. And so funny, when you're in the middle of a day, just getting these things like episode 4, WTF. It's been brilliant. So at least we've had that.
The feedback that I got was someone, Neil.
Oh, not Neil again.
Yeah.
Neil's always getting a mention.
Neil J this time.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Who messaged me, he's catching up on our podcast, he's a bit behind, and said, you better mention that there was no credits in episode 4. Yeah, that's the thing that we mentioned.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Right, okay. I think the credits might have changed in this episode 5. I think the bit of the lift where Helly and Gemma, they do the, it always makes the noise when it's everything's a bit confused between the innies and outies. No, not the theremin.
No. That was my attempt to do the kind of static,
yeah. I'm going to have to watch it back because it probably did, but I didn't feel that I saw the Helly Gemma thing in the lift.
I don't think I saw the Helly Gemma thing up even on this episode, but
oh, right, okay.
I probably wasn't paying enough attention.
Fair enough. So yeah, I thought that had changed, but I loved that we'd gone back to a normal episode, a proper episode in the workplace, a workplace thriller, loads of what I think are Scientology-esque references coming in here as well.
Yeah.
Playing up the cult element of it, having these, these words for atonements and these long sessions that I understand people involved in Scientology have to sort of cleanse themselves of, various things.
Okay, I don't know enough about Scientology to mention this, but yeah.
It's just the language and these therapy inverted commas sessions that happen within those type of organizations. They're really, really playing into that in this episode, which I really enjoyed, but I liked being back on the floor.
I wonder which star of Tropic Thunder, Ben Stiller could have had any insight.
I know, I was thinking about this.
Scientology into.
But he directs it, he doesn't write it. So it's Dan Erickson and others that are writing it.
I still think he will be involved with the creative process. But yes, yeah.
So I was much, much happier. And there was a lot of laughing. We did a lot of laughing, looking at each other. You wrote a load of stuff down. Whereas last week, I think we were a little bit stony-faced and there was some sighing until the end. The end was really good. The end of episode 4 I really, really enjoyed. But this I enjoyed all the way through. And it went back to the things that I really like, hidden messages behind a poster. That hang in there poster was just constantly, just a tiny little bit of it was being referenced in the background and you were just waiting for Dylan to turn around. Or, Miss Wong asking a question that wasn't a question, and the performance reviews. There's loads of things that I can, in my brain, I'm going, oh, what about that? What about that? And some really dark things as well, the fact that Helly and Helena, and the idea of that's not me, and how can you trust someone? Yeah.
Should we go character by character?
Yeah, yes, we can this week.
The story that.
Hooray.
So, obviously, there is a cold open to this episode, and we see a male figure. The male figure that Felicia mentions in the previous episode, who is coming on to pick up things from O&D and then dropping them off at the lift at the end of the corridor.
And we don't see his face, which suggests to me that this is an actor that maybe we know, or they're playing with us.
I mean, that would be foolish to provide, because everyone will be debating this while we speak in places where I don't like to go. It looked to me a little bit like, it looked to me like John Turturro with hair straighteners.
Different body shape, I think.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's the actor who's going to play Fields, I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously Felicia would recognise with hair straighteners.
Yeah. That's a really good one, the Fields. Yeah.
And the idea that they've had Bert and Fields so close obviously mimics the idea that we've had Gemma and Mark so close to each other.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But then it would be more of a reveal if we then met Fields and understood that he was this person who we have seen. Yeah. I mean, obviously we've seen Fields already through a window.
Yes.
It is the actor has been credited as in the
and
cast.
I think, if I remember rightly, it's a guy called John. I can't remember his surname, and I think he was an actor who was in Lord of the Rings. So I'll know him. He's the one that doesn't like his son. He's Sean Bean's dad. You don't know Lord of the Rings. I have no idea.
I've seen
why
them.
am I? Yeah, but remember at the end, he really, really hates his second son, and he loves Sean Bean, and he's really sad that Sean Bean's dead. Can't remember any of the names. I've seen those films so many times. Anyway, it's him. And at the end, he tries to anyway, it gets very dark. It gets very dark at the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's him, and therefore that would make sense if we knew him.
We've literally got a cast of 8 people who this could possibly be. So
but why are they sending him in the lift with dentistry tools? Is that what they look like? Them? They look like those horrible little things that get stuck in your teeth when you go to the dentist.
I didn't pick up on that, but
yeah,
I must have been making notes and stuff like
metal
that.
Things with scrapey things on the end.
Well, yeah, and they could be creating them. I mean, they've created a lot of things, and I can't quite pick an example of what they've created, what they've mentioned they've created in previous episodes.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
No.
But there we go.
Get the credits. It's nice that we are now noticing things that we have seen all the way through in the credits. So the mugs with Irvon have been in the credits since the beginning, which is why I think it's probably not changed. It's just we've not noticed.
Not noticed.
Someone will be on Twitter and Reddit
reading it,
comparing them side by side already. But yeah, let's start with Mark.
Mm-hmm. Mark's being a dick. I like Mark when he's being a dick. It seems more like him.
Ooh, Mark's being Innie Mark, you mean?
Oh, both, I think. Both. I mean, you don't see much of Outie Mark.
Let's unpack that.
Okay. No, he's just he's being weird to Helly. He's just behaving more like a proper person, but also at the same time, let's get back to work.
Mark has gone through what is essentially a crime.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. I retract my previous
Yeah,
statement.
like I don't want to make light of like
No.
a bit, or make it serious. But in any other scenario, if someone is coerced into sleeping with someone who they with a personality, if we're treating these people as two separate people, which they are on the show.
Yes, I'd kind of put that to the back of my mind. I understand.
Yeah.
now I feel like I've made a big old boo-boo.
Oh, this is
going, oh, Mark's being a dick.
at least you're editing it out.
Yeah,
But
of course.
But no, it's, I think, and that is I think this is on purpose, and this is what the point they are making, in that he is dealing with the person who he has slept with isn't the person who he thought he was sleeping with.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to take a lot of unpacking, and I just want Mark and Helly to be happy together.
Do you?
Yes.
I was never really massively into the Helly Mark thing. I thought it was very it was very teenage. I think that's the thing. It just felt very like, people at school and a first crush and that sort of stuff. Whereas the Irv and Bert, that just felt so much more meaningful.
While we have been in a relationship, I have done a rewatch of Saved by the Bell, if you remember.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
High School Romance is my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, cut that out, please.
That's something to put on the poster. Honeymoon period. High School Romance is our thing.
Oh God, this is gonna be a 4-second long episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I've never been massively invested in it, but I do like the ideas behind that relationship that she's and Egan. So for Mark, I'm pointing at you. Yeah, I'm shouting. For Mark S, he's obviously going through a lot. But what I think I was trying to say is I like the fact that we're seeing some kind of character from him. It's not, there is emotion there and there's feeling, and especially when Milchek gets in the lift with him. And he's just, praise Kia. And I just really like that bit of Mark coming out.
Yeah, he's developing. He's not just the meat puppet that he has been in previous episodes, and he's developing a personality. But it's always been driven by Helly coming into the team. He was the perfect worker right up until Helly joining the team, and when they went on that trip and he was giggling like a little schoolboy and stuff like that. That's why I like it. That's why I like the relationship and everything like that. Can I just point out how much you nodded when at the end, when he phases into being in the office and meeting Miss Casey, how much you nodded at he prefers 2 scoops of ice cream, but they must be the same flavour.
Of course. Like, if they're different flavours, they'll like merge into each other.
Oh, but that's the joy.
No, there's no joy there. There's no joy there. It must be the same and it must be chocolate. But if you get like chocolate and then a vanilla, the vanilla's like poisoning the chocolate. And you're losing the chocolate to the vanilla. So they must be the same. That's entirely right. I'm really with Marcus.
Your outie pays all their gas and electric bills within 3 business days.
I don't do that. I don't pay any of our bills. I don't know what company we're with or anything.
Live the stereotypes.
Yeah.
You do know what company we're with.
I don't, Mark.
We've had this discussion in the past.
I know,
couple of
and
weeks.
I have said to you that you need to do me a spreadsheet that tells me what all of our bank accounts are, where we get our gas and electricity, how things work, just in case. Because I wouldn't know. Yeah, anyway.
Independent women.
Yeah, I know. I love that bit actually where, you're walking through town and there's like, it's typically men who are standing at one of those stands, like trying to get you to sign up to some kind of deal. And I love the fact I can turn around and like completely unironically go, my husband deals with all of this.
Oh,
I know. There is some darkness there.
We travel into city like the men do.
Oh, your favourite advert.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think we've gone off topic a little bit.
A little bit. Right. Are we still on Mark?
I think so. Obviously, we are dealing with the surgery that he's had.
Oh, yes, the Regabi sort of reintegration surgery.
Regabi's living with him, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently she's in his basement. People like to live in Mark's basement.
Certainly.
Why is no one watching? Like, why is no one, like, given everything that's happened? Obviously, Cabell's not next door anymore.
No.
But why is no one, like, watching her going in and out of his house? Surely someone's keeping an eye on him.
Well, I think that's the point. She's not going in and out of his house.
Oh, okay.
She is staying inside of there.
Right. Snacks.
I think it's naive to think that there aren't cameras inside the house, but I mean, that's
that,
how.
Oh yeah, that flickering light bulb. I'm just thinking about that.
Oh, well done.
Anyway,
Yeah. And also, Mark is coughing.
Yeah, Mark is coughing like PT,
Which,
and like all other people who have a
in the
terrible
language of
end.
cinema, yeah.
And he's drinking something that looks like, well, sludge, fat, just a good
Friends
old
reference.
tub of fat.
Gonna drink the fat.
Oh, I don't get that reference.
Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. So moving on to Helly. We first meet Helena in the boardroom with Natalie and Mr. Drummond.
Yay for Mr. Drummond.
Who obviously isn't just security as we first
No.
thought, but yeah,
No,
has a
he's
role.
at a higher level.
And the word is we're close. And Mark is 81% as of Friday.
Yeah, for Cold Harbour, which we don't understand.
What happens when we get to 100%?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Like, because they say later to Seth, Mr. Milchek. I can't call him Seth. Well, Mr. Milchek, they say to him, it'll be your legacy and it'll be the greatest thing to happen in the entire world. Now, Lumen are not averse to these grand sort of gestures and over-emphasising things like the waterfall, the biggest waterfall in the world, which clearly isn't. So I'm not entirely sure, but something must be about to happen, and surely we would know what it would. Maybe they want to announce it to the world, so we'd find out as like the public would.
I find it interesting that there is we've got a physical countdown on screen that's happening over the episodes of how close he is getting. I think he got to 83% or 85 or something like that at the end of this.
And he's opening up Cold Harbour and we can see that it's working, I still don't know. It's one of those things where I kind of don't want to know because it might be rubbish. It's, you know what I mean? Like when the reveal comes and you kind of go, oh, is that it then?
Do you think I think 100% is end of the season, and that is the big. Oh, how many episodes we've got left? Got 5 left, I think.
I don't know, hun.
Okay.
I haven't looked.
Right, fair enough.
Once more, I'm in complete denial and not looking up anything.
It hadn't occurred to me that we hadn't seen Helly in the office since
the same.
Yeah.
So when Dylan does his little, it's very high school. Well, not even musical, but it is very like Saved by the Bell. And so there's your cheeky, chappy friend.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
nudge.
Who's gonna nudge, and go, have you told about that yet? Have you told about, and knowing exactly what he's gonna do. And the fact that she went, what? Like, you're out, Miss Casey's, you're out his wife. And I was like, oh God, yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything.
It was who the fuck are you to Miss Wang as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. And then I think I realised just how everyone else knew that Helly R was Helena because she wasn't behaving like Helena. Once I saw Helly R again, the difference between fake Helly R and real Helly R was just so obvious. Like the way she walks in the corridor, she's really bent over when she walks in the corridor. I just want to straighten her back. And the language that her language is much more flowery, and she's just more abrupt with him as well. She was just like, when she has a go at him and she's saying, look, it's me, like, you're just gonna have to trust it's me. And then at the end of that conversation, she just goes, essentially, just sort the fuck out, sort yourself out, stop being an idiot, sort of thing. But it's just got so much more passion and anger and more verve about it than anything that Helena did when she was fake Helly R. So I get it now.
What an acting job by Britt Lauer though,
God,
too. Yeah. Why did Helena go in as Helly?
Because they wanted to see what was going on down there.
But they know what's going on because they monitor everything, surely.
Well, they were saying that they weren't monitoring everything. So
they say a lot of things.
Yeah, I know.
Are we still saying that there aren't cameras? Because I don't believe that.
Well, I think, you couldn't trust what Helly R was going to do. So they had to take her out of the picture. She knew too much. She was going to go in there. She was going to derail Cold Harbour. She would lead them off on another pathway. So I think that's one thing. But the second thing is, if Helena is there, she can report back. She will get secrets whispered to her in her ear that maybe they can't pick up on the cameras. That's my feeling. But I think the Helly R is just too much of a wild card.
Yeah.
She's trying to kill the other one, all of that sort of stuff. And as Helena says in her sort of like meeting with Natalie and Drummond, like, she tried to kill me, and then another one of them tried to kill me.
Yeah.
And I thought there's a real juxtaposition between the Helena that we saw when she's sleeping with Mark, and she's saying, like, I didn't like who I was out there, or I don't like who I am out there, which you kind of felt was very sincere. But then when she's in this boardroom, she's calling them, she's being really discriminatory against the innies in a way that doesn't quite come together.
Yeah, I mean, there are work personas and outer work personas, and there's plenty of people in this earth who actively hold an opinion in work that they do not hold on the outside. That line of I didn't like who I was on the outside I think is a really key to seeing where we're going to go with Helena. I'm not sure I need a Helena redemption story arc.
No, I don't, but I thought that's what they were doing. So I was a little bit confused that maybe we didn't see that progression in this meeting. But yeah, we'll see what happens later on.
Can we get onto the funeral?
Yeah, go on.
If I die first,
Yep.
could you create a Mega Drive graphic of me doing a little dance?
I could get someone else to do it.
I want that more than I want the melon head.
I know lots of people who do excellent media things. Yeah, I mean, but I think they'd probably do just too good a job of it. That's my thing. I'd say just make it really, really shit, but actually they'd produce this beautiful thing of you dancing around.
A melon head from the country of Asia.
Right. Is that not where melons come from? I mean, I wish we weren't recording this. Where do melons come from?
I mean, there will be melons that come from Asia.
Right.
Asia is a continent, not a country.
Oh, right, okay.
Unless I misheard it.
No. I remember thinking of that line and knowing that it was probably something, but not having any geographic, wares. I'm talking like Mr. Milchek. Uses too many big words. Wonder who gave him that little anonymous.
You also put
nudge.
paper clips on the wrong way around.
I probably do. But yeah, I did think, someone's going to pick that up, but it's just I have no knowledge, so I'm rubbish with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, a lovely, touching speech from Dylan.
a proper eulogy.
Yeah.
That's the sort of eulogy I like, quite frankly.
A little sugar with the salt.
Yeah. And I think you see Milchek there.
Oh.
He's conflicted.
Yeah.
He's so conflicted.
Should we go on to Milchek? Because, there is...
Yeah.
We're flying through this. Obviously, Milchek, first off, has the meeting with the remaining three. When I go into a really, really bad meeting at work, I am definitely going to use, this went well at the end of it.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's just... bringing it forth into the world.
I think people do that all the time, though. I think in the workplace, people do that all the time. Like, it can be the worst thing that's probably happened. Go, great, and everyone sort of claps their hands together and go, right, let's get on with it then. It's that sort of style, It's that sort of, yeah, brilliant. If I say we're doing really, really well, we are.
Oh, I could get into chances at work who absolutely...
Probably best not to.
But
it does seem to... But he does seem to do something with it, though. They go away, they start working. It's not like they revolt against the work. They don't say they're not going to do it. They say that they want to go as well. They sit down, they do the work at their new little tri-deck. Because I thought, they're going to bring in someone new.
I thought
to
they
cover
were going to bring
Irvin.
back one of the three.
So did I. And I was like, oh no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Because that's going to change the whole dynamic again. But yeah, so they go back to work. So it does sort of, even though they know, as Mark says later, it's all bullshit, it does do a job. And I did like the story. and it was such a good story as well. Like, it makes total sense. It's mythical. They're drawing on all of these, these long-standing stories. Everyone will have their version of someone who is very big in the world going into the people and learning more about the people. It's just, he's just taken it from Sweden, I think, there. If indeed he has, unless he's made it up, because you do think he might have done that. And then I thought the conversation with Natalie outside the performance review was, again, I was really pleased with us because we picked up on that a couple of episodes ago, and this conflict that he had when he received the pictures, recanonicalized pictures, I think is what they called them.
Yes.
and sort of saying to her, it was very subtle, but it was sort of saying to her, you've had similar struggles to me in the workplace because we are people of colour. You might understand the complicated feelings that I have. And you can, again, the eye and the lip thing in.
Again, what a performance of...
But she's not giving anything away. There's no crack in it.
There is the 1% crack. And if you see the performance, you can see that it does drive a thought in her mind. But she is still...
Yeah. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
And then his performance review with his pre-ordered lunch. I wanted to see what was on the menu. I was really sad when he just like pulled the bit of paper towards him, and then it was like, and then he just pushed it back. I was like, does he already know what the menu is? Like, or does he not want to take some time to think about what he wants? But this really reminded me of, from what I know, I've watched lots of documentaries on sort of Scientology, and I find, and I've listened to loads of podcasts about like cults and things, and I find it really, really fascinating how people can be indoctrinated, and people who are on the, very, very sensible, very, well-meaning, knowledgeable people, but because of the methods that they use, can really indoctrinate them into thinking and doing things that they wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah.
And that really, really reminded me of the things that I know about Scientology, which is these long conversations that you have with someone who essentially knows all of your secrets, and then they take your secrets and they use them against you.
But nice to have a nice little brochure afterwards.
Yes.
To reflect
was so
on them.
well done. So well done.
Like, if I had more time, I would be absolutely freeze framing that and checking it out. I'm sure they're all over Reddit as we speak.
Yeah. Oh, making it. Like, it's the way the font and the way the brochure opens as well.
The props are just so good in this show.
And poor Seth, because you can see in that performance review, he says, I'm not Harmony Cabell.
Yeah.
I was instituting... So you feel for him because he was trying to do something different. And now, obviously, he's been told, you've got to cut that. And so where do we go from here?
We definitely are seeing a redemption arc for Miss Milchek. I don't think he was a bad guy from the start. But we are definitely seeing this.
Or he isn't, or you see that glimmer and then he doubles down on it.
Yeah.
And actually it's Cobell that, we haven't seen Cobell for such a long time. When's she going to come back into it?
It's 2 episodes ago, isn't it? I guess,
it feels
where
like
she did that.
But
a long 2 weeks, yeah.
And you didn't see much of her. She was just driving around in a car and being scared in a car park.
Yeah. Miss Wang, still there?
Still there. Still not sure what she's doing. She's very, very sad that she really rehearsed that performance on the theremin and she didn't get to do it.
I think the line that really struck a chord with me was, you shouldn't have given them a funeral. It makes them feel like people.
Yeah.
Which is a really strong, emotive reaction. I want to see her on a theremin, but,
Yeah. Well, we've seen her already. You can go back and watch episode 4 if you like.
No.
I
genuinely, I mean, this show naturally has a lot of rewatchability and things you will pick up on. We will do a rewatch at some point of season 2, I'm sure, because I got so much out of season 1, especially before just watching it before this.
Yeah,
I have heard, Neil J, when we've had some conversations about this, has mentioned he just can't remember a lot of things.
Right.
I would have no clue who Regabi was if we hadn't rewatched season 1.
Yeah.
And that obviously that is a byproduct of the length of time between the 2 seasons. But I'll definitely will do a rewatch. Brief scene of Devon and Rickon.
Yeah, I was really pleased actually because I was talking to someone else about the fact that we hadn't seen Devon for quite a long time. I think I sent her a message going, where is my favourite side character? Because I love Devon. I think she's just so sensible. She knows what's going on. She's married to a strange man, but I do kind of get Rickon, the fiscal and something else opportunities that, I don't know whether it was reputational or something, opportunities that being given this chance to write this book, I kind of get it. And I think she's just a really, really good influence on everyone around her. And I really missed her. So I was really pleased that she got a little moment in this episode.
And this goes back to the Orwellian tendencies of changing the books. But also, I mean, removing Ev from the photos in the office, and it's very well done Photoshop.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's almost like they've taken it. Yeah.
I want to see them side by side just to...
You've said that so many times this week. Why don't you just go on Reddit?
Because I want to be controlled in what I see rather than seeing outlandish theories and things like that. And then finally, Irv. Outie Irv.
Yeah. This is a proper lovely moment. Like, I don't know who he's talking to in the telephone. Like,
No.
you know, he's clearly talking to someone. Like, maybe there's a group of them that, you know, like this group of rebellious Lumen people. But then to go over to Bert, and I love how he goes over to him. He's very forceful. He's not, you know, when you first met Irving B, and he was very reserved and, you know, it's very structured. Whereas Outie Irv is so much more like, I'm presuming he's like a military man. And last season he had his father's military uniform, and there's a background there. He's got the dog radar. He just seems to be so much more confident in himself, and to walk straight up to the car and be like, "Who are you?" You know, and then this frisson between him and Bert being very, it just seemed normal to me. It's like, well, you were banging on my door. They let me go a couple of weeks. I don't know why. Like, come and have a chat with us. Do you think Bert's a baddie? You're looking at me in a strange manner.
I don't. Even if I found out in a dual life I was dating, I was possibly dating someone, I don't think I would invite them to dinner with me and you.
Maybe it's the throuple that was alluded to earlier in the show.
Yeah. The thing which I don't understand is, we know that Outie Irv, is aware of Bert because he has a map with a house circled in his house. Mm-hmm. Surely, if you do that, he would have some knowledge of who Bert is.
What he did, he says, "You're Lumen. You're with Lumen," is what he says. So he knew who he was straight away.
I also want to know what happened the second Irv snapped back. Like,
maybe that's what we're going to find out next episode, or whenever the episode is, when he goes to dinner. Hey kids, what's for dinner? He wants an expensive red wine.
A very awkward conversation with Fields.
Yeah, Fields, not Fields.
Fields?
That's
not. Neither of these are names that I acknowledge. So
okay, maybe I've got it wrong, but I think it's Fields, like Fils, not Fields, as in things that you run through. We'll find it. We'll find out.
We shall.
Who knows who's right? Me.
You. Almost certainly you. Yeah. Such an improvement on my. I'm not saying last week was a bad episode.
No.
I'm saying last week made me feel bad.
Yeah.
I still have issues this week with the... Oh, we just patched that up with... Oh, so it's still not taken then? Having done that big cliffhanger, the big moment of the... Is it
reintegration?
Reintegration, yeah. At the end of episode 3, I think it's bad storytelling to then ignore that largely for next episode, and then just have someone go, "Oh, so it's still not happened yet." Mm-hmm. I'm sure that, or I'm not sure, but I acknowledge that in time that may be shown to be purposeful, and
maybe we just needed something in the episode where Ragabi started it saying, "This will not be instant. This is going to take some time." But then it would take away the cliffhanger of the boom, he's on the table, he's being reintegrated back in. I think it's all a bit more it's style over substance.
I just find it puzzling storytelling. And as I say, that may be intentional. Doesn't make it something that I enjoy going through. Sorry, the plane overhead, which sounded like a score, was coming in.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you started looking at my phone thinking, "Have you got your phone on?" I was like, no, it's you who leaves your phone on when we're recording. Can I just say that I was really pleased to see that this episode was written by Megan Ritchie. I'd had a conversation with my friend Hayley Dunlop about whether there was a bit of a whether there was. I was talking to her about Devon, and I was saying, "Where is Devon? Where is my favourite woman in this show. And then also I was thinking about, I haven't seen much of Helena, I haven't seen much of Cobell. We have been focusing quite a lot on the male characters, and so that led me down a bit of a rabbit hole to see who had been writing the show, and it was really good. So Hayley was like brilliant, like bringing that up in my mind, and I thought I was going to be like, oh, see, it's all men writing, but it wasn't. But it is majority men, so Dan Erickson either writing with another man or writing with a woman.
Yeah.
But there hadn't been any women-only written episodes until this one. And that made me feel better for two reasons. But the main one being, oh, great, I like this episode and a woman's written it. And also that we've got a solo woman writing it. And then it sort of made me feel better because, oh, and Devon's in this one. So maybe that's why we're getting more of Devon.
She's been a writer's assistant all the way through the series, through this season. But this is her first writing gig by the looks of it.
So I'm pleased because I was ready to be all like, and waving my fist in the air, but actually that's not what is required.
In some ways, it largely undermined your point, I imagine.
It did, yeah. So yeah, but it was a really, really good thing to be thinking about. So I was really grateful that Hayley was talking about that and making me think about it and making me go and see who the writers were, because writers, I think, get ignored, don't they? We think about the director, we think about Ben Stiller, but we don't actually see who writes the episodes. And really exciting to see what else comes through from those writers.
Yeah, she's previously worked on Sugar, starring Colin Farrell on Apple TV Plus.
That one. Apparently it was a bit twisty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently there was a big twist. I've not worked out what the twist is yet, so I might watch it and see what happens. What else did she work on?
Very little.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
She's done short films. She's been directed short films. So it looks like she's very much making her way in the industry.
Good. I'll not get angry.
But I mean, what a show to start off on.
Yeah.
She's been writer's assistant on American Gods.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that's big. And yeah, it's got a lot going on in that show, didn't it? We started watching that.
Did
you finish it?
I certainly got further than you. I think I watched season 2.
I think when the leprechaun turned up, I got a bit like the man leprechaun.
That was literally season 1.
Yeah.
Well, episode 1, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's all I got to.
Right, okay. I think I watched a lot of it, but yeah. So, guy from Hollyoaks in it, so yeah.
Which guy from Hollyoaks?
Should we? I need to look up who this is now. So yeah, it's Ricky Whittle who was the star of it.
Of course, it's Ricky. Yes, Ricky Whittle. I think he was on Strictly at some point as well.
Was he?
I'm sure he was. Now I'm just blathering on at you. I think we need to bring this to a conclusion.
And Emily Mortimer.
Now we've gone to Hollyoaks.
Emily Browning, not Emily Mortimer.
Good. Let's stop this recording.
Let's stop this recording before we really start making more mistakes.
Thanks, everyone, for getting in touch. Please do send your instant reactions through. I really enjoy the WTF is going on and what is happening to Mark and all of those questions coming through. And let us know whether you felt happier about this week's episode. I think we are much happier. And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for letting me go on holiday.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Bye.